Hey, how are y'all doing this evening? I was doing the April's lesson plan for Momo and Kayvon. So I wanted to come on here real quick because I did just get off a Zoom that inspired me to do. I was like thinking all day, what should I do a live about? And what have I not done lately? My why. I haven't explained my story since I rejoined network marketing and the networking system. And here's the thing. It took me a lot to from when I first started. Of course, you grow over everything that you learn and everything that you go through and the people you meet. They come into a certain season. For that season, when they're done with that season, they exit out your life. And one thing we talked about in the Zoom is just being yourself. And that's one thing that I struggled with, because I felt like I had to be perfect. I had to do everything right. I had to stop doing this. I had a lot of people in my ear telling me, don't do this, don't do that. Like, don't say that, don't show that. Like, so many different things. And I originally joined pharmacy for a skincare product. I left pharmacy, the team I was on, from getting booted out of Zooms, like blacklisted out of Zooms, blocked from trainings, live trainings and everything like that. Like, once that person blocks you, if they're in the top leader position and they don't like you for whatever reason, and they block you on social media, you can't see any of their lives that they're doing within the company, within the team that they're doing it with. And it goes to the same thing with the Zooms. Apparently they can block you on Zooms, or they boot you out of Zooms, or I guess they see your name pop up and they're like, nope. And they exit. Like, to me, that's bad leadership. And that's what I dealt with a lot. And so I was like, you know what? I was able to make enough to open up my own business and go down that road, and that's what I did. The grass wasn't greener on the other side. It was a lot more struggling opening up your own business, running your own company, promoting your own company, finding the right products, all them things, being your own customer service, being your own one-man team for everything, answering questions for people, helping with finances, helping with having to find I am in the company it was a clothing company. The company I was with, I had to find an investor, a financial investor, who would help me keep the company open, keep the doors open on my company, because I wasn't taking the stream I was making from pharmacy to support. At the beginning, I was taking that income I was making from pharmacy, I was taking that and putting that into my own business. But once I stopped pharmacy, it was such a big struggle. And branding yourself and branding your company and making the promotion, like the flyers and the graphics and all them things, all doing everything by yourself. It's hard. It's a struggle. On top of that, I'm a content creator. I've been a content creator since the very beginning. Up until today, I'm a content creator. Content creator overall. When I came back, I did search around this time. I was like, look, I don't want to join up under anyone that's on that that's up under that leader, for the simple fact I'll just be jumping right back into the same hole, and I'll be getting banned from lives, from trainings, from leadership, teaching and all that stuff. So why would I want that? I know a lot of people can relate to that, because I've seen on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Well, not so much on Instagram, because probably I'm not in that level. I follow Instagram for like ideas, reels, makeup looks, things like that. But on Facebook, YouTube, and things, I've noticed a lot of people can relate to being banned or blacklisted or ghosted from their leader, from their sponsor, from their upline. And that was me. It wasn't my direct upline, but it was somebody in the top lead. And I noticed after I left that my upline that I was bumped up to, she unfriended me. And I thought, I guess I was just a number to her. If you ever feel like you're in that position and you come across this video, this is your sign, because I was in that position too. I know what it feels like to be left behind, to be left out. I was told to go to other leaders in pharmacy, like other leaders, people's other sponsors. I was told to go to them to find trainings. I was told to go and pay for other people like Brock Johnson. Who was the other one? There was Jesse. Boss. What's her name? If you're seeing this and you know who I'm talking about, something Boss, whatever her name. I can't think of her damn name. But she was a business coach. And I was paid to go, or I was told to go train up under her, and which I did. And I paid for the things I paid for the Brock Johnson thing to the little website and their trainings and all that. And I got like 100 and some scripts or whatever to run with. But I'm gonna call her Boss Lady. I don't remember her damn name. I trained up under her. I paid for all her things. I worked my ass off to try to get her the class that she was that she was doing. I didn't quite make it that far, but I was struggling up to do that and keep my business open at the same time and run farms. Like, I was doing it all. And to me, that taught me a lot. It taught me more to don't put all your eggs in one basket as far as where to find your leadership from. However, be yourself. What works for you works for you. What works for somebody else won't necessarily work for you. And one thing that I struggled with a lot down all this journey, because I've been in network marketing I joined when my oldest son was about 1. So he's 17 now, so about 17 years, give or take some months. I've been in network marketing. I've been with a bunch of different companies as far as weight loss companies. I've been with a jewelry company. I've been with I want to say Oysters, but the little pearl company. I've been with a clothing company, actually two clothing companies before I opened up my clothing company. I turned mine into a network marketing company as well. Candle company, wax company. Like, I've been through so many. Invite. Okay, I have no idea how to pronounce your name, Miss Rodriguez. Did I say your last name right? Jackie. Did I say that right? Let me know in the comments if I said, is it Jackie? Because I see your name all the time, girl. And I never want to say people's name because I don't know if I say it right. And I don't want to butcher your name. But thank you for hopping in. So I've been through a bunch of different companies. And some I had good leaders, some I had horrible leaders. But coming back to pharmacy, I did. Yay. Okay. I was like, I was just going to say no. Okay. But coming back, I did search for who I wanted to be up under. I had a lot of learning to do as far as, like, I told my old team, because I had a team at one point it was like 10 people, and they all fell off and they all went their separate ways to whatever they're doing. But I always tell them a lot of it has to do with me and not them. So if I say something, or if I make a facial expression or whatever, like, I'm always like, it has everything to do with me and not them. And I want everyone to know that, like, the way people say stuff, it doesn't technically affect, like, it's not technically directed to that person. It's more of like I guess you could say it's miscommunication in a sense. But, like, when I'm talking to my team, I try to be as helpful as possible, because I know how it feels to not get that help, if that makes any sense. Like I said, I've had leaders ghost me, blacklist me, and then you go to ask a question and they just completely ignore you. Or they, hell, I've had supervisors do that in real life, like face to face. Like, I'll tell you a quick story. I worked in the cotton plant and we had a supervisor. His name was Kenny, which is really weird for me because my dad's name was Kenny. So I would say, I used to tell him all the time, and jokingly, I'd be like, my dad's name is Kenny. So if I laugh when I say your name, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, my dad's name is Kenny, and I don't call him by Kenny. I call him Dad. So that's how I was raised. So we don't call our parents by our first name. Some families do, and I didn't know that until adulthood, okay? But I was talking to him, and he was explaining, because like I said, we worked in the cotton factory, so he would come in and give, like, we need this, we need that, we blah, blah, blah. And so I asked him a question, and he turned and looked directly at me and goes, anyways, and I'm like, did he not hear me? I mean, I know I'm right here in his face, but, like, did he not hear me? So the person sitting next to me at that time, she has been in the supervisor position before because I actually knew her from a previous job. And I worked under her at that previous job. And she was like, you're not going to say nothing, Tony? And I was like, no, like, he's a supervisor and I don't really know, like, how do I address that? And she looked at me, she goes, don't worry about it, I got this. And I'm like, I'm in an awkward spot already. Like, what are you going to do? And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because if it's all on me. And I was like, okay. And she goes, excuse me, that was rude. You just completely ignored her. And he looked at her and he ignored her. And somebody else said something about, oh, no, he didn't, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're egging her on or whatever. And she was like, no, we're not doing that. I've been a supervisor before. I've been in a leader position before. You don't just ignore somebody because you feel some type of way about them or you don't like how they, like, come to find out, he didn't like that I was bubbly. And I laughed a lot. So, I mean, I've never gotten that response from somebody. Now I've gotten I'm loud. I don't know how to stop talking, things like that. But being bubbly, and that was his actual term that he used. He told one of the other supervisors, and that supervisor that I was friendly with, he told me, and he was like, yeah, he don't like you because you're bubbly and that you laugh all the time. Like, I can turn everything into a joke. And I do play around a lot, but I'm not a very serious person, let me put it like that. And so when you find someone that doesn't vibe with you, it's like, are you just like miserable? Like, I don't understand why you're upset about somebody laughing. I don't get that part, but neither here nor there. Yeah, not cool. So yeah, back then that was before I joined pharmacy with that incident. And being in network marketing, you do learn, and let me just say this, I've never been in customer service until I've been in network marketing. So you do learn customer service. You learn how to talk to people. And then also with me running my own business and being the head person for everything, you learn a lot more. And I had, from the time I started to now, I had a lot of growth. Do I still joke and play around a lot? Yes. Do I still take everything like with a grain of salt? Yes. Haters going, yes, they will. That's what it boils down to. That's what it ends up coming up to, because I still, till this day, maybe my brain's not wired that way to understand why people just want to be angry all the time, or why people want to take something minimal and childish and turn it into something like, hell, a few days ago I had someone do that about my funny post about my son. Me and my 17-year-old, we have a very good bond, at least I would like to say, and come every now and then he'll tell me. And apparently the post, some people, it rubbed them the wrong way and they took offense to it, or they were so stuck on one fact in the post that they couldn't look at the bigger picture of, well, y'all have a really good bond. The fact that y'all can laugh and joke about, similar things. Like, I mean, I still have 2 young boys. I hope that we have the same bond, if not tighter. So being a mother, you would think that another mother would understand that, but apparently not everybody thinks that way. So, but I just came on here to say my why, and it from where I started to now, it did take me a lot to be okay with the mistakes. Be okay with it not being picture perfect. Be okay with, now I ain't gonna lie, because that makeup live I did yesterday, nobody noticed, but I forgot to blend my chin. And I have a reel in my phone that I haven't posted yet. Well, actually, I took it out of the original reel that I shared. I took it out where you can't really see too much of it, because I was like, nobody hopped on during the live, so nobody could tell me. But because I had a lot of people, maybe those were haters. I don't know. Maybe they were, because they would always nitpick at every little thing I did when I used to do makeup lives all the time when I first joined pharmacy. I used to do makeup lives. I used to, I couldn't do a reel unless I had makeup on. I wasn't comfortable like this, just sitting and chatting. So now I'm at the point where I can. And I can do a reel with no makeup. I can go outside with no makeup. But back then I could not. And it took me a lot. And it was like I was saying, I did the live yesterday, and I didn't even blend my chin. I didn't realize it till after I put my reel together. I was like, why is my face so dark than my neck area? And I was like, oh, I didn't blend that part. I'm like, oh man. But it is what it is, because it took me a lot to where I still have insecurities, and I probably always will. But it took me a lot from where I came from to, like, even back before I joined pharmacy, I would do lives with the jewelry company I was with. I had to have makeup on, because I always had a birdie in my ear telling me, well, you should brush your hair, or you should do your makeup. I even had ex-girlfriends, my partner's ex-girlfriends, hopping on my post, on my lives, on my reels, on my story, whatever, like not my stories, but in my posts and stuff, telling me, well, maybe you should get your nails done if you're going to showcase something. Like if you're going to hold something up like this, maybe you should have better nails, like, because I don't do my nails. Maybe you should do your nails, or maybe you should wear this, or maybe you should do that. Maybe you should dress a little bit better, like different things. Like I always had people, and that held me back from being able to come on and be my real self, because this is what I am 24/7. This is what I am from day to day. I've always been that laid back boy mom, tomboy looking-ish, whatever. Like I went from wearing jeans all the time to leggings all the time. Like there's no in between. I never been a dress person. I've owned a few, but I've never been like a girly girl. And I do wear makeup, but not in a sense where I wake up, I have to do my makeup. Like I'm at home 24/7. I'll do my makeup, either showcasing the makeup, or I'll do my makeup because I have something special going on. Thank you. That was actually the first makeup live in, oh my God, probably a year. I'll say year. Maybe a little bit less than a year, but give or take some, it's been a hot minute. I have in my office closet, that's what I call it. It's where my little makeup area is. I go in there, I'll do my skincare and things like that, but I don't really go in there to do my makeup for like I used to at the beginning of my journey with pharmacy. I mean, I don't know. Mostly this is where I'm sitting at. This is my little homeschool corner, because this is what I do 90% of the time, and this is what I do on my work. But I just wanted to come on here and just explain. I was motivated. Let me just say that. I want to explain. I was motivated from today's Zoom, because now, like at the very beginning, I said I've followed her for a long time. The last, when I first joined pharmacy, I followed her. And I think I don't know if I'm still following her on Facebook, because I gained so many new followers since the beginning of my journey on TikTok. And I remember her from her makeup reels her makeup transitional reels. She did an amazing, Beetlejuice. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I thought I was doing okay, but she put me through the ringer with that. I was like, she does amazing, amazing makeup looks. I don't know if she still does because I don't be on TikTok as much. But that is why I was inspired to come on here and share my journey. And at the end of the day, just be yourself. Love who you are. And I preach that all the time. I preach that to my kids. I preach that, to myself. Love yourself and just be comfortable in your own skin. And you will go way farther in life, in your networking, if you're a content creator, if you're in the network, in the business, with whatever business you're in, you will go way farther loving yourself and being content with who you are than you would with listening to those people who got to give you all the criticism in the world because they have nothing better to do. Or maybe they're a hater, or maybe that's E-Man's. You have to ask E-Man if you can have it. So just love yourself. Bye. Thank you for hopping in, Jackie.